Batiste Floral Shop, and they've been been in the neighborhood for a while. They're doing a wonderful job. And we have the Wave, and they even have a drink in there which is delicious called the Bronzeville. It's very nice. It's very nice. It's something they created. So we want to support that. And I spoke with the owner of Daddy-O's. He's trying to create something to reference Bronzeville in one of their menu things. So we're asking the businesses to do that, to make it unique when you come here. So we have all those areas in both of these new buildings coming. So with the deal coming and the Chef Butcher's restaurant, you get more people coming there for different reasons. So this is good for us. We like that. And also, what's really going to be something in the Adelphi, I know when we talked about the rents, the cheapest apartment, I think, at the Adelphi starts at $800 and it goes all the way up for the townhouses to be about $2,000. And we talk about, that's going to price African Americans out. Well, I tell people, go and see who lives there now. It's a large percentage of African Americans who live there. Some are students. So again, to say that we are unable to afford certain rents is not always the case. We have economic challenged individuals in the neighborhood that we want to enhance. But there's also a lot of African Americans who have the resources that can afford to be in the community as well.
And they are moving back into the neighborhood.
Yeah. And this is nice.
Yes.
So we are, and I think a lot of changes is happening with the Mount Vernon. Next year they're going to start doing a new landscape. Mount Vernon will no longer be what you see today. It's going to be beautiful. We have different. We will have the city come out to give a presentation. I'll have them come out next month and let them give you the different options of how they're going to have bike lanes, trees, remove some parts of Mount Vernon from parking, because they're going to try to create roundabouts of traffic flow. Mount Vernon narrows. The widest part is St. Clair in Mount Vernon, and the narrow part is going towards Taylor or Woodland. So they have different configurations to make it more palatable for biking, walking, slow the traffic down, and minimize accidents. And that's good. So I think this is what makes this exciting for us and some of the residents like Mrs. Glover, Mrs. Perkins, and Mr. Clark, and Ms. Masoner, and even our commissioner, who's been here a while. This is very, very unique for us, that we are actually designing and laying the foundations for the rebirth or the revival of a community. Not many people get to do that. You can't go to Bexley and say you're going to change something in there. So this is very critical that we have that opportunity to determine what will the neighborhood look like in a few years. And it's changing so fast that every year is going to be a bigger change. In 2 years, just at the corner of Hamilton and between Hamilton and Monroe, you're going to have almost 2,000 people living there with the infill housing. You have the deal coming in. You have the Ogden there. You have the Adelphi. You have Shiloh residential. So within that corridor, you're going to have a couple thousand people living there within 2 to 3 years. That's a great impact. And that has nothing to do with our eastern and the northern boundary of the infill housing. So that's a responsibility that we all must say, this isn't Clark and Perry going across from the Pacific Coast, to join the country. We are here at the forefront of saying, this is what we want our neighborhood to do, because we're in the middle, and we have the access, and we have a lot of the jewels that we have to massage so that it's pleasant. I'm still arguing, and Vice President Mason and I are constantly still arguing with City Council. We need our pedestrian lighting. We need traffic calming devices. They have them. We are constantly saying that. And this is what's needed for us to go to the next level of safety, walkability, and calming the traffic. It's important that you're not driving through here at 75, at 75 miles an hour, you know, and zooming up and down the streets. So we've been doing that.
And if,
Yeah, Mr. President.
My question is about Almond Plaza. Is there anything in the plans to make it look more appealing? I still go there for banking and the restaurant and the post office and another place, but it's beginning to look deserted or, you know, it doesn't look nice anymore.
Right. And this is something that we've been fighting. Again, we had meetings there. It's the owners. The owners are out of Detroit, and we've been we're trying to get the city to put pressure on them. And every time we get the city, they do something, and then we get back. Well, we're working on something. That's all we hear with them. So we got to put more pressure. You know, we would like them to get it, to sell it and get out. Let us do something with it, because they're not doing the best that they can do with that plaza. You're right. It is now a risk going in there, and so yeah, and that is definitely on our agenda, and especially with next year when they start to do the streetscape of Mount Vernon, we're going to have them put an additional pressure on them to do something with that, and have some meetings with those owners, get rid of them or fine them or do something to say you cannot continue to allow this place to look like this. Yeah, I agree. That's the thing about our neighborhood. We don't have a lot of real bad spots. It's just these one or two in between, and a lot of it is the landlords, the owners, who allow it and don't step up to the plate. They give a lot of lip service, but then they do nothing, or very minimal. So yeah, we're definitely going to change that.
And if I can go back to the safety issue, that is a great concern for everybody, particularly with the speeding that's going on up and down all our residential streets, from Miami, Monroe, 17th, 18th. You're seeing that, and with the more people coming in, the increased speed is a greater issue, and particularly we have a major problem now at Elijah Pierce and Lester over by St. Paul and Meade that are flanking 71, where the new bridge at Long Street is. We've had a rash of accidents, really bad accidents, that have happened there since that bridge has opened up. We had 2 major accidents at Elijah Pierce and Long within 2 weeks, not too many months ago. And then we had a very bad accident. It was either Wednesday or Thursday this week, right there on the corner at St. Paul and Meade at Lester and Long Street Bridge. The car was flipped up over and totally destroyed. I don't know what the condition of the people were. So what we have is a situation where they're coming off the freeway, and for some reason people are wanting to continue that high rate of speed because you can do it on Lester and Elijah Pierce. And then you have the bridge, Long Street in particular, which is a confusion point. I don't know how many people I've seen heading west on Long Street after Hamilton, and they continue going west over the bridge, and then they suddenly, all the traffic's coming right at them, and they don't know what to do. Some continue, some freeze up and make a mess. And then sometimes you have a little accident, sometimes a big accident. So, one of the suggestions we made before that bridge was even built, we stood and had a meeting. We told the city people, we want a 2-way bridge over Long Street. We want 2-way all the way down to Cleveland Avenue. There's no reason why Long Street has to be a 1-way raceway out of downtown. They did that so the people in Bexley could get the heck out of downtown and not have to be in this neighborhood very long. They made it so they could get home as fast as possible. Those days are gone. You don't need that anymore. You don't need that super wide street on Long Street. It can be 2 ways, all the way down to Cleveland Avenue. You do that, then you reduce that confusion at the bridge on Long Street. Now, the city said, oh no, we can't do that. Then President Brown and I went and talked to the state highway people, ODOT. State highway people own the bridge, built the bridge, maintain the bridge. highway people said, oh yeah, you can do that on that bridge. That's up to the city traffic people, whatever they want to do. They have control on the traffic pattern. Well, see, the city traffic people said, no, that's not the case. There's no way you can do that. So, we can do that. That's one of the big things that needs to be considered, because we can't have these major accidents on that bridge. They're rebuilding that low brick wall across from what used to be What a Waffle, on the corner where Beale funeral home is. They've rebuilt that again. And how many times is this gonna happen?
And it does make a emphasis, and they noticed with ODOT, it was designed to handle two-way traffic from the beginning. And we told, because this came up when we were part of that initial design, and that was part of it. And the city, I don't know why they're being so stubborn not to allow that to slow the traffic down. So maybe with new development coming along, they will change that. But we're going to keep pushing that with the city to work with us to make that a two-way. Long Street going down to Cleveland two-way. That's good. Yes. So with that, are there any other questions or concerns? Okay. Then we have our treasury report, and then we will have our commissioner to speak. Our treasury report from Stephanie. Yeah, thank you. Any questions? That flag money helped build us up.
Our current balance as of August 31st is $5,892.37.
And what's in those funds was funds for our jazz concert that the city did not allow us to have our electric in there. And I'm going to really be not very pleasant with them this fall. They're supposed to have electric there and put our flagpole in, and that did not happen. So we got kind of squeezed with the person who donated the funds for that concert series. So, we're not happy. So they're working with us to let it remain so we can have it for next year. But we're definitely going to talk with the city to put our electric in and our flagpole in, because we need that there. And also they can put an extra light. We told them, when you do that, put a light for safety, because right there is no light for the park. So we're going to put pressure on this. See, it never ends with these guys, I tell you. I mean, it's just, and I look at it that, it shows you as long as you're living and you have some strength, there's always going to be a challenge if you're going to be doing good for others. And that's what, that's where we get out. We get frustrated at times, but we still keep at it because we can see the light. We have some problems still, but by Jove, when we walk down and we see the development coming and we see people up here and doing what they're doing, it's nice. Because we knew a time when that wasn't the case. So we are happy that we can go to bed at night sometimes and hear the crickets, or wake up in the morning and hear birds. There was a time when you didn't hear that. Yeah, so it's good. And we're going to continue to be at it until it gets to where we want it to be. But we are now the orchestrators, the conductors of this new Bronzeville, this new very pivotal community. And we can make it nice. And with that, we have a comment and some concerns from our commissioner, which is very nice to have him here with us. Give us an update on NEAC. Commissioner Hutchinson.
Thank you. Eric Hutchinson, NEAC Commissioner. I just plan to do an update if that's okay.
Yeah.
So last time, we met, we were going into an election cycle. Turns out there was no competition, in the election, so we recently updated our bylaws, so we don't go through the effort of an election if there is no competition.
Mhm.
So you continue to have the same three commissioners, myself, Aaron Blevins, and, Dr. Nathan Harris in, Bronxville, District 1 in Bronxville.
Very good. Very good.
The, and thanks for your support.
Mhm.
That was very clear last time, I appreciate that. Next thing, there are no, development projects, going through the cycle from Bronxville, going through the cycle this month. I typically give updates on those around that this time. But there is a good connect to traffic safety that came up. Emma Coby from Columbus, the Division of Traffic,
Mhm.
will be at the general body meeting, which is this coming Thursday at 6:30, at the old Model Neighborhoods building, between, Lotta and Linwood on Broad. They're gonna resurface Broad Street from Parsons to Nelson, in 2025. And it's an opportunity to add, traffic calming features. It's a completely open discussion, but it might be, blank things with barriers like we have on that section of Long Street, at Columbus State. I think, there's been conversations here about that walkway that isn't really all that safe,
Mhm.
at the health center. So it's a chance for us to talk to the city about, things like that as they consider restriping Broad Street, after the resurfacing. So she'll be there. We gave about 15 minutes plus time for questions, knowing that it's an important topic, if you're interested. We also do broadcast those meetings on Facebook, if you're not able to make it. I think that's it.
What is it? When is it again?
6:30, this is coming Thursday evening. And the address is 1393 East Broad.
Thank you. Yeah, that's very good. And I tell you, I ride my little bike around, and let me tell you, coming up Long Street and that, they have the barriers and you drive, it is so nice riding in there. I mean, it's like, wow, you have your own little space as a bicyclist. And it's just super, super nice. I love it. Because prior to that, well, you are pins and needles coming up there, prior to that. But I think we need to encourage, so I definitely will be attending that meeting and to give a comment about that. But yeah, we do need to encourage safety with the bicycles in the neighborhood. Yeah. Yes, Stephanie. Oh, yes. Can you make reference? There's a missing child. Go ahead, Stephanie.
Yes, someone really today, the work I was going on, it was a young child missing. Her name is Lenora Denise Grannon. Female, black eyes, 4 feet tall, missing from some after area. And I don't know really why her be alert, but I didn't get them on my phone, so I don't know where to go.
Yeah, the helicopter, right. Okay, you can just pass that to her. And we're going to put that on our website.
It's up on our Facebook already.
Yeah, okay, great.
And I shared it to other neighborhood groups.
Okay, great. Yeah, sad to hear that. Hope they find her in health. Wow. Okay, are there any concerns or anything? Oh, there's one other thing that's gonna happen tomorrow. And our, Smith Francois, our IT person, he has been recruited and to come, and we're going to have a meeting with Miss Lenore Henderson, the owner of the Henderson House. Well, she was the former owner because she sold it to Pat. And he's going to be our IT person to videotape. We're going to have a session talking to her to find out you know, some history about the house, how her father was as an attorney and all that stuff. And she also promised to bring your camera. She said she's gonna look into her, she has a chest, you know, I'm sure she has one of them. Now, I'm guessing maybe not like a big steamer chest, but she has a chest, and she has all of her memorabilia, because she used to be a model and all this stuff. And she wants to show us some of the things that relate to the house. So we're gonna kind of document it. And it's gonna be probably a series of sessions, but tomorrow is our first one, and I'm so glad that Smith can do that for us, because he's very good at it, and we can take pictures and stills, and then we will have that documented as things go on with the Henderson house and the repurposing of it, and having the live person there telling us about what happened. It's good to know that. So we're going to be doing that tomorrow at her place, and speaking with her this past week. And we asked, do you want it to just be audio or video? She says, oh, no, you got to have video. I get a chance to dollar myself up. I said, yes, you were a model at one time. So, you know, she's 80-something, and she says, it may take me a while to get ready. But she says, don't worry, I'll be ready. So we're excited. She's still in good mind and body to want to share that past with us. And that's now, we have a lot of other people that we'll be contacting shortly to get them videotaped too, right, Mr. Clark and Mrs. Perkins and Mrs. Glover. We're going to get everyone to get on our video line. Huh?
I didn't hear.
No, we're gonna go to her place at 1 o'clock here. Yeah, we're gonna videotape her and talk with her about that. No, not yet. No, we're just gonna go. I'm just not what we're gonna do. But I'm saying we want to do one of you too. So we're gonna. Yeah, we have a lot of people that have, and I really, you know, Mrs. Perkins has been a school teacher and so forth. But Mrs. Glover has some history that deal with Centenary Church and the doctors that came at the last century. And so we really want to tell that story, that what happened. And so this could be the beginning. We've been requested to do this, but we may take it on our own self to have an archive of our Bronzevillians with that kind of history. So Smith, after this, be ready. Yeah. So it's all good. And okay, any other questions or concerns?
I have a concern. Does anyone know how long ROR is going to be using those lots? I called the church and they, for the last 3 years, it'll be in September, the last 5 years.
Yeah.
And with that dust and the trucks dropping like that, you know, I've had to replace the ceiling. It was already cracked, so I can't just blame them for that. But it's just all of that really dusty.
Let me call them. Let me call not the church, but the company. Yeah.
You know, I asked them and they, well, we'll be finishing.
Yeah.
You know, because I want to, you know, I'm not going to put another fence up until they're finished.
Well, what I want them to also do, if that's the case, then they need to power wash your house. They need to do something, because you're being inconvenient because they're putting in utilities, but they have something in place that they can do something to compensate you for that inconvenience at the end or somewhere during the time.
Sorry, this is the lot on Long Street where they're staging the.
Right.
Right.
18.
So I just walked past that and it reminded me, I just put a 311 in request in too. You know, they've got tall.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They've got mud in the ADA ramps and so forth, so I just put a 311 request in to see if we can get that.
Okay. And then
I put one for where Frank's place used to be. Where they had what's that called?
they tore down the building there.
So I actually I put one in for that as well.
Okay.
That's the one that triggered me.
Right.
Well, they both have been on
Right.
issues.
Right.
Not to mention Alan, I put one into that too.
All right, well, that's good. And then I will call the company and see what how they can work, how we can see what they're going to do. I'll do that this week. Yeah. Yeah. So is there anything else that Mason would think about?
Well, it's an exciting time to be in the neighborhood, and like we said before, we welcome all people who want to come to Bronzeville and be part of something
And
unique.
and I just found out there's a house on Long Street next to, the Charles, right there on, between, 17th, I think, and it's for sale. And it just sold, and the person is from Cleveland, coming down here, and he's a police officer for Upper Arlington. So he's coming down, he's married, young couple, coming into the neighborhood like that. I met the owner, I was walking, again, it's nice to walk the neighborhood, and saw the owner doing some touch-up stuff, and he informed me that this is what's happening. And then we have some issues with the house next door, and the landlord, he asked me, can I call them to do something? So I'll make a phone call for the owners of that house next to that one. So the work is never end, but I'll make those calls this week to get that. All right, then we'll make a motion to adjourn.
And our next meeting will be on second Saturday in October. The date is,
Mr. Clark, you have your calendar out?
let's see, at 3 o'clock here at Bethany in Sanctuary,
October 14th? Yeah, October 14th will be our next meeting for the Bronzeville Neighborhood Association. The Bronzeville, yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right,
Okay.
we ask for an adjourn. We want to make a motion to adjourn the meeting. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed, like sign. Great. Thank you for attending.